All right, today is starting our last part of Unit 1, fractions. So Lesson 1 is simplifying fractions. We're going to start out here at the top with some vocabulary terms that we're going to be using for our whole unit. So the first word is fraction. How many parts of a whole? Our next word is numerator, which is the number above the line in a common fraction. The denominator is the number below the line in a common fraction. Okay, so if we look over here at our visual, we have a pizza. Okay, so our numerator 3 is our number on top, and it represents how many parts there are. So we have 3 parts of the pizza left. The number below, 4, is our denominator, and that shows how many parts we divided the whole into. So this had been divided into 4 different parts, and there are 3 left, so our fraction is 3/4. Okay, our last vocabulary term is mixed number. And a mixed number is a number that contains both a whole number and a fractional part. So for example, 5 3/4, our 5 is the whole number, and our fractional part is 3/4. 2 1/3, 2 is that whole number, 1/3 is the fractional part. Okay, so we will be referring to these terms throughout the unit. Moving on to how to simplify a fraction, there are 2 steps. So your first step is to find the greatest common factor of both the numerator and the denominator. You are allowed to use your factor chart to help you with this. Then your second step would be to divide the numerator and the denominator by the GCF. This will put your fraction in simplest form. Okay, so if we look at example 1, okay, and you have this visual up here to help you too. If we look at example 1, I have 50 75ths. So I'm going to take that numerator and the denominator, and I'm going to use my factor chart to list out all their factors. Okay, so I can find 50 on the front here. So 1, 2, 5, 10, 25, and 50. Okay, and then 75 is on the back, and 75 has 1, 3, 5, 15, 25, and 75. Okay, so I'm going to circle all of the factors that they have in common. 1, 5, and 25. Okay, which means that my GCF is 25. So just like in this example up here, now I'm going to divide both the numerator and the denominator by that GCF. Okay, so I'm going to divide each by 25. So 50 divided by 25 is 2, and 75 divided by 25 is 3. Okay? You are welcome to use your multiplication chart to help you with division if you want, but another trick you can use, if I were looking at 50 over here, and I wanted to know what 50 divided by 25 is, it's just going to be the number that's right on top of 25. So 25 and 2 go together, 5 and 10 go together, and 1 and 50 go together. So 50 divided by 25 is 2. And if I look at 75, if I wanted to know what 75 divided by 25 was, I would look right above it, and there's the 3. Okay? So your simplified fraction is 2/3. Okay? Moving on, example 2, I have 36 over 48, or 36/48. Okay, so my first step is to find the GCF of both. Okay, so 36 and 48. I'm going to list those out using my factor chart. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. For 48, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, go down here, 24, 48. I'm going to circle all the ones they have in common. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And that's all they have in common. So my GCF, my greatest common factor, is 12. So again, I'm going to simplify by dividing by the GCF. Okay, so you can see for this example, we gave you your starting fraction. We're going to kind of scaffold and take that away. So I start with 36 over 48. I'm going to divide by the GCF, which is 12. So you might know this off the top of your head, 36 divided by 12. If you don't, again, you can check your factor chart. So 36, I found 12. The number right above it is 3. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. You can do the same for 48. 48 divided by 12 is 4. Okay, so my simplified fraction is 3/4. Example 3. So now I have some mixed numbers in here. When I have mixed numbers, I do not have to do anything with the whole number part. My steps for finding the greatest common factor and simplifying the fraction stay the same. So I'm only looking for the GCF of the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so I'm looking at 54 and 60. I'm going to ignore that whole number part for now. Okay, so for 54, I have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, 27, and 54. And for 60, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. Okay, so I have a lot of common factors here. I have 1, 2, 3, and 6. So my GCF is going to be 6. So again, my steps stay the same. I'm dividing the numerator and the denominator by my GCF. I'm not worrying about that whole number part. So I'm dividing by 6. 54 divided by 6 is 9. And 60 divided by 6 is 10. Now it's important that I keep my whole number in my answer because that still is part of the answer. So I have 8 and 9/10. So that whole thing is my final answer. Okay, same for example 4. I'm going to find the GCF of my numerator and my denominator, 92 and 100. So I have 1, 2, 4, 23, 46, and 92. For 100, I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, and 100. What they have in common, 1, 2, 4, and it looks like that is it. So my GCF is 4. Okay, so I'm going to take 12 and 92 hundredths divided by 4 over 4. So my whole number is going to stay the same. That just carries over. And then 92 divided by 4 is 23. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. So my simplified fraction is 23 over 25. My final answer is 12 and 23/25. Okay, so go ahead and do the U try. 14 and 56/96, and put that in simplest form.